Fenlon, we meet again. And again. And again.
I grow tired of your visits, cat.
As do I, you slut.
You are a slut.
You're a slut.
You are the slut.
Cat, ready to dance.
I'm always ready.
Fenlongo, I've missed our chats.
You shut up and fight.
Welcome to the mother relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. I'm sure most of you have heard by now. Floyd Mayweather names his worst person to ever walk the planet. No, it's not Al Heyman, who he says stole over $300 million from him. It's another guy. Floyd Mayweather's financial situation has exploded back into the spotlight after the boxing legend filed a staggering $175 million fraud lawsuit against former business associates while continuing to push ahead with multiple comeback fights. As first reported by TMZ, Mayweather filed the lawsuit in New York, accusing former associate Jonah Rechnitz, investment firm First Apex Ventures, A.L. Frist, and attorney Alexander Seligson of orchestrating what Floyd describes as a years-long scheme involving unauthorized transfers, fake investments, and missing luxury assets. Mayweather's legal team alleges millions of dollars were diverted through business entities tied to Rechnitz and Frist, including real estate proceeds, jewelry transactions, and refinancing money connected to several properties. A lawsuit that seems almost identical to the one that he's filed against Showtime in connection with Al Heyman and all of the money he claims they stole. Among the most eye-catching claims are allegations that around $100 million worth of Mayweather's jewelry was pledged to jewelers for only about $13 million, while Floyd also says money tied to the sale of his Gulfstream jet vanished without explanation. The lawsuit additionally claims Mayweather wired $7.5 million into an investment that never materialized and alleges millions more were transferred without his authorization. Mayweather's attorney, Leo Jacobs, stated, "The conduct alleged in this pleading, including the diversion of settlement proceeds, refinance proceeds, and recurring real estate distributions to accounts controlled by Jonah Rechnitz through Frist Apex Ventures, demands a full judicial accounting." Further indication that Mayweather's money mogul persona was little more than just that, a persona, a character that he was playing in the public eye. He was never as financially savvy as he was made out to be. We look forward to obtaining that accounting and to recovering every dollar which our client is entitled to. The lawsuit arrived shortly after Mayweather publicly lashed out at Rechnitz on social media. "A liar, a thief, a rat, and a snake," Floyd wrote. "Jonah Rechnitz is the worst person to ever walk this planet." Yet another one of Floyd Mayweather's close confidants who seems to have played him like a fiddle. Played him for a fool. The accusations have added another chapter to what has become a chaotic 12 months for Flayweather. And like I've been saying about Floyd Mayweather's already filed lawsuit against Showtime in connection with Al Heyman and the money that Floyd claims that he stole, it's almost like people don't want to talk about this out of second-hand embarrassment for Floyd and first-hand embarrassment of themselves, since they looked to Floyd Mayweather as a sort of point of pride, one of their own. How many times in how many boxing groups or boxing channels did you see somebody bragging about Floyd Mayweather's millions, almost as a point of personal pride, so that if it turns out he was never as financially literate as he was made out to be, not only does that make him a moron, but you for believing him. And attacking us, attacking me, because I was one of the guys from the very beginning said Floyd Mayweather's lifestyle is not sustainable, and I'm getting the impression he's not the business mogul he makes himself out to be, and sooner or later, it's gonna run out. The money is, Mayweather's past year has been a mixture of money rumors and comeback plans stalling, as his previous quieter existence erupted again despite approaching his 50s. Several fights have fallen apart, been delayed, or simply failed to materialize, as Mayweather now lines up an incredible 3 fights in the next 4 months. Is that a sign of potential financial issues?
Well, that's what I said it was. That's what I've been saying from the very beginning.
That was the question many asked before Mayweather started handing out lawsuits that appeared to fuel speculation surrounding his finances.
But here's the thing. It always struck me as suspicious that following the Conor McGregor fight, which was a box office hit, a box office smash, he sold almost as many pay-per-views with Conor McGregor as he did with Manny Pacquiao. But for whatever reason, he kept fighting in exhibitions after that, which I always found strange.
Exhibitions that many of which were a lot smaller than what you would have expected from someone like Floyd Mayweather, someone of that stature, almost like he needed to keep fighting. So I wonder,
And this was going on for years.
how long exactly has Floyd Mayweather known that most of his money is gone, that most of it has been stolen between Al Heyman and Jonah Ratchnitz? The 5-weight world champion claims he was scammed by a combination of his former TV network Showtime and Stefan Espinoza, coupled with former partners and business associates. Mayweather is attempting to portray none of this as being his fault, but that is becoming harder for some to accept, as Floyd ultimately chose the people that he worked with and surrounded himself with.
So what? That doesn't mean they didn't rob him. To a lot of people, Floyd Mayweather would present as another dumb athlete, another dumb boxer with more money than he knows what to do with.
Because he's the one chose to keep these people around. That doesn't mean these people didn't scam him. All that really means he's got very poor taste in friends and is a very poor judge of character. How all of this plays out is anyone's guess, and whether fights against Mike Zambidis and Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao happen in that order is still far from set in stone.
But do you believe me now when I said that he needs to keep fighting? He's not doing all these exhibitions for fun. He's doing them because he has to.
Despite the growing legal drama, Mayweather continues to post a mixture of training footage and legal updates on social media less than a month before his planned fight against Mike Zambidis in Greece. The event remains on course for now, as Floyd prepares for yet another comeback appearance while legal pressure continues to build around him.
A few passing thoughts. I think that Floyd Mayweather has known for some time that his financial situation is less than stable, and that's why he's been doing these exhibitions for years. They didn't all of a sudden start. He's been at this for a while now, and I've long suspected his finances are why.
So then why didn't he file these lawsuits sooner?
Maybe he thought that he wouldn't have to, or maybe he didn't fully process the extent of the damage and how much money was gone. You're saying that Al Heyman, through Showtime, stole over $300 million from you, and your old buddy Jonah Ratchnitz, who you've been running around with for years, he stole another $175 million.
And all of this would have been happening under your nose, you bleeding out this much money. There's no way you can actually be the businessman you've made yourself out to be for so many years, and all of this would have been happening under your nose.
No, you gotta be a fucking mark. You gotta be a fucking moron. And that's what I think Floyd Mayweather is.
They say bad things happen in threes. You say Al Heyman and Showtime stole some money from you. Now Jonah Ratchnitz, you're saying that he stole some money from you too. I guess the only thing left is for Manny Pacquiao to take something from you. Take your O, the one thing you've got left worth anything. Free! The Mayweather mythos and the Mayweather legacy could all come crashing down before this year is out if both all of his money is gone and his O.
How many fighters tried to model their careers after the career of Floyd Mayweather on the premise that he was the guy you wanted to be like when you grew up? He's the one that made it. I don't think that many fighters are going to try to model themselves after Floyd Mao.
Because he's a fucking idiot.
In his heyday, all he cared about was his money and his O. Now, it would seem that all of the money is gone, and the O could soon follow it. Do you still want to be like this guy? You want to still be boxing, forced to come out of retirement in your 50s.
Because you let all these other people do your thinking for you.
From a storied boxing career to little more than a cautionary tale, Floyd Mayweather is a prime example that no matter how much money you've made, you cannot outrun your own poor spending habits.
Or what is a gross lack of financial literacy, which is what would have led Floyd Mayweather to rely on so many people to account for his finances for him, leaving him vulnerable, leaving them able to take advantage of him. I don't think Floyd is going to get a dime of his money back from Jonah Rechnitz, from Al Heyman. That money's in the wind. It's already gone. It's not like they stuffed it under their mattresses.
There's nothing to recoup. In all likelihood, they've spent it already, so you can sue them and go after it.
Though it's already gone, and Floyd Mayweather may have to continue fighting well beyond this year, into his 50s, just to try and keep his head above water. I don't think he can maintain the lifestyle he's maintained for years now.
The bell tolls for thee.
And we're saying this before used to elicit a lot of harsh responses from Floyd Mayweather's faction of fans.
Now what you get is radio silence, because it turns out the guys like me were right. You guys, you were wrong, because you're just as fucking dumb as he is.
But you want to make a bet that if you made the same money that he made, those same people would have scammed you out of the same money they scammed him out of, because you're fucking dumb.
And now it's time for another installment of what has fast become the most popular segment here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail!
Nothing brings the hate mail out more than a video about David Benavidez and all of the fucking losers who need to make excuses for him. Brandon Johnson said, Canelo entered the super middleweight division in December of 2020. What was David doing at the time?
Losing his belt on the scales.
You're telling me these dudes were hyped up over Ronald Ellis and Kyron Davis? Were they calling for David to fight bigger fights then? Against Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, or Caleb Plant? No.
Actually, they were. In 2020, it was Caleb Plant who was calling out David Benavidez, and it was David's promoter, Samson Lukowicz, who wanted to put the fight off. He wanted to wait, and he wanted to build it.
It's literally all documented on camera. So this idea that David didn't have the opportunity to unify his division as far back as 2020 is just a lot of bullshit. This is an era where we've seen several fighters unify titles and become undisputed, to where if that's what David wanted to do, then that's what he would have done.
What are you saying, that in 2020, I wasn't calling for David to fight in unification fights?
You better guess again. That's the beauty of the digital era. If you wanted to know whether or not I was singing the same tune in 2020, all you gotta do is check the archives. Those videos are still up. From the very beginning I said, David Benavidez needs to not only hang on to his own title, but unify it, because once Canelo drops back down after the Kovalev fight, he's gonna go on an undisputed run. That's what I said verbatim.
Remember that in 2019, he moves up to light heavyweight, beats Sergey Kovalev, and afterwards, nobody expected him to stay up there. Everybody knew he was gonna drop back down, myself included, so I advised that David Benavidez needs to start collecting alphabet titles, so Canelo has to fight him. He instead lost his own.
Lost it on the scales. And you expect me to feel sorry for him, so that by the time Canelo does go to super middleweight, he doesn't even have a belt for Canelo to fight for?
Why do you guys always have to apologize for losers? For beggars and fucking losers.
All this fat idiot had to do was hang on to his own green and gold title, his own WBC title. That by itself would have been enough. And he couldn't even do that. Now you want me to feel sorry for him?
Another user who goes by the name Jonathan Dickinson said, another relay talking about a guy that doesn't even have a fight booked. I hope you are receiving a commission for the promotion of this fucking guy.
He's talking about David Benavidez.
I'm not even sure if I would know who this guy was without your daily insights into his life, Jules. Can we please move on to another subject until such a time as he does something worth talking about?
Well, let me stop you right there, buddy, because every video I've been making from this weekend has centered around Alexander Usyk's fight with Rico Verhoeven and the other fights that took place on that card. I didn't start making videos about David until maybe yesterday, when news broke that Turkey LL Sheik wants to make a fight between him and Jayo Pataya, and when Canelo Alvarez's quotes about David were published. I mean, this is the news. What do you want me to do? Not talk about it? This is a news channel.
Jonathan continued, This is my long drive channel. I can't take a drink every time you mention his name, but I can roll up on the curb. Hopefully, roll him under 6 tires, and Country can do the eulogy, and we can all just stop farting and burping his name. I say...
This is a news channel, Jonathan. If there's a story out there about David Benavidez that's making headlines, whether it's about Jaio Pataya or Canelo Alvarez, I'm gonna talk about it. And there were actually 3 separate stories in that video. The story about Canelo and Crawford, the story about Canelo and Christian, which is a fight that's booked, and is a fight that I spent a lot of that video talking about. It doesn't really become about David until the very end, and I didn't spend a whole heap of time on that segment. You did.
And why? Because that's what was in the thumbnail? Did you actually watch the video, or did you just look at the thumbnail and start complaining?
Because I don't mention David until the very end of the video. That's the very last segment. A lot was discussed in that video that didn't center around David Benvenuti.
Another user who goes by the name Jay Dizzle said, as far as David Benavidez being too big, I remember this as the same Canelo that got the WBC to try to make a fight with Lunga Makabu at cruiserweight, and even said he might entertain an Usyk fight, but David's too big?
Yes, he's too fucking big. Hey, genius. Did Canelo actually go up to cruiserweight? Did he actually fight Lunga Makabu or Alexander Usyk?
No, he didn't. He never actually went to the cruiserweight division. What you're talking about is ancient history. It never materialized because Canelo found out he's not cut out to fight as a cruiser. He's barely cut out to fight as a light heavy. That's why Bivol beat him.
So let me see if I understand this. You're proposing that Canelo go to cruiserweight, is that it?
What the fuck are you, a moron? Canelo Alvarez is 5'7" if he ain't 5'8". He ain't got the frame to carry around 200 fucking pounds.
Is that what you're resorting to? Begging Canelo Alvarez to move 2 divisions north of super middle all the way up to cruiser?
Also, David doesn't have to fight Jaio Pataya. Also, David doesn't have to keep busy with the other cruiserweights because he's a fucking cruiserweight. And in reality, he always has been.
He's always walked around north of 200 pounds, but in previous years, he was more able to get down to 68 and get down to 75. Now as time passes, he can't do that anymore, but he's always been a cruiserweight.
Why the fuck do you guys keep trying to rehatch Benavidez versus Canelo as a conversation? The fucking fight isn't gonna happen.
It's dead in the water. Get over it.
This fat fucker says that he can still get down to 175, so get down to 175. Otherwise, go fight Jai. Those are your options.
Canelo's off the table. Whether you think he ducked, or he didn't duck, or he's scared, or he's not scared, one way or another, it's not going to happen. And that's all you want to talk about. A fight that isn't gonna happen, instead of the ones that can.
Because those are the fights you don't want David to have. Why do they periodically bring up Canelo Alvarez if you talk about a Bivol fight or an Opataya fight? Because they don't actually want David to fight those people. They're scared he'll lose. So they keep focusing on Canelo and focusing on a fight that isn't going to happen.
They're scared of the ones that can. Go ahead, David. Get back down to 175. Drain yourself. Drain the pond.
You're just gonna make yourself that much easier for Dmitry Bivol to beat, or don't drain yourself. Don't go back down. I don't think you're going to. Stay at cruiserweight instead and fight Jaio Pataya.
So he can do to you what he did to Hussein Sin Cara. So he can put you in a hospital.
Go ahead, use the one they call a Mexican monster. Go do the Jaio Pataya, which you just did to Zerto. I'll bet you can't. I'll bet you won't.
I don't believe you. And your fans don't either. That's why they don't want you to fight Jaio Pataya.
No, they instead want to keep talking about a Canelo fight that isn't gonna happen because they're scared, and so are you.